Live. It's called Foundational Womanhood. I'll be speaking to the Village Auntie, Angelica Lindsay Ali, who is a intimacy expert, an acclaimed educator, a storyteller, amongst many other things. I'm looking forward to speaking to the Village Auntie. Hopefully, she'll be joining us to talk about her upcoming workshop called Cultivating Allure for Women. It's going to be on the 31st of August. I think, let me just add. So, okay, you have no requests. So,
There we go.
assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam. Can you see me? Alhamdulillah.
I can see you. How
Hmm?
are you? I'm actually out. No, it's nice to see you. I'm out of jail. This is the first Instagram I think that I've done in a while because I was having some
Oh,
issues. Instagram banned me, so yeah, I was kind of worried. I had my well, my latest, I had my fingers and my toes crossed. But I was praying anyway. I was praying, so alhamdulillah, yes. I was worried that it wasn't going to work, how he's going to get around it. But anyway, alhamdulillah,
Alhamdulillah,
how
I'm
are you?
doing well. It's a lazy Sunday here in Phoenix. It's very hot. It's 105 degrees,
Okay.
so I'm staying inside all day.
Mashallah, mashallah. You look well.
I've
You
been
look well.
resting. I've been
Honestly, you
resting,
look
so
well.
alhamdulillah.
Oh, that's good. And again, just for the benefit of everyone who's joined, we were supposed to have this
Mhm.
IG live last week, but we had to reschedule, so we're having it today. And hopefully, obviously, I want to hear more about the Village Auntie's upcoming workshop. But just before we do that, do you mind giving a quick high level introduction to who you are and the great work that you're doing for anyone who's not familiar
Sure.
with you?
My name is Angelica Lindsay Ali. I'm known on social media as the Village Auntie. I am a certified sexual and reproductive health educator. I also work in public health. I've been working in public health for 21 years now. I build and design curricula across the span of public health. I am considered an expert in my field and I consult with major governmental organizations and community based organizations. I'm the founder of the Village Auntie Institute, which currently has about 5,000 active students yearly. But we are about 60 plus thousand worldwide. And I am the founder of TOA, a rites of passage sisterhood organization that is interfaith, intergenerational, international, and intercultural. So that's me in a nutshell.
MashaAllah. I want to say congratulations as well. I found out about your producer credits. So you didn't
My,
talk about that. Your producer credit, the lady part. So the lady
oh,
parts, the British Muslim
oh,
series. Yeah, yeah. So for those who don't know, so we have a I'm not sure if it's
it
aired in
is.
the US, but it's based in the
It's on
UK. Yeah.
Peacock Network
Oh,
too. Yeah.
okay. So there's a UK based um it's like a sitcom series called The Lady Parts of obviously predominantly of women, but also features men as well. And the Village Auntie is a producer on one of the episodes. So yeah, mashallah,
Thank you.
congratulations
I
on
didn't
that.
know it was. I didn't
I
know it
heard
was out yet. I have forgotten. I have forgotten all about it. Yeah, I really like a lot of. There are a lot of people who say things about the show. I love the show because it shows the real life struggles that a lot of Muslims have. My daughter is also in a punk band, so it fits
okay,
well. And yeah, the creator of the show, I had already binge watched the show. The creator had reached out to me and said that she wanted my insight. I didn't even know she knew who I was. So alhamdulillah, thank you. I didn't even know that it was out yet, so I have to find it.
yeah, I think in July I saw the came, but I saw it a couple of weeks ago. Um, I'll be honest, I don't watch the show, but I saw the episode that you was producer of, and I watched that show. The episode I really enjoyed, and I think without giving it things away, so it's a multicultural Muslim women rock band, and then one of the ladies is a black African woman. She was talking about some of the challenges in terms of like wearing a hijab with natural hair and things like that. So, but yeah, you can watch it. If you're in the UK space, it's on Channel 4. If you're in the US, it's on Peacock. So yeah, kudos, congratulations on that. As well as you've also there's another a BBC documentary, the Muslim Sex Education, that came out was it last week or
Yeah,
two
it
weeks
came
ago as
out.
well.
Habib,
So you
I'm not good at this. I never keep up with things. Yeah, it came out on the 16th of August. I was actually sick
Yeah,
last week, which is why we didn't. My daughter got sick when she went back to school, and I caught it, so I was just not. I was out of sorts. But it came out on August 16th. It's a BBC radio documentary. I was just so elated to be to be featured. I'm going to be doing a post about it, but yeah, it talks about me and Dr. Mutia Bajudeen, who's also Nigerian, just the work that we're both doing. And I was very happy to connect with Dr. Mutia and just really talk about the work that we're doing. And as a, I guess you have got me used to saying, like, as a pioneer in this field, it's always nice
definitely.
to have my work represented. So I have to do some updates to my bio. I have to add like a producer, and I have to add like featured in BBC documentary. And it was really
Yes,
lovely working with the producers over the span of a few months as we were working on the episode. They're just lovely women, and I'm really excited. Most of my in-laws, BBC is their news source of choice.
yeah.
So
No, honestly, no, I was really proud when I saw that, as well as there was an article, I can't remember where it was, where it was featured a couple of weeks ago. The Religious World Service, yourself and Dr. Sadaf Lodi was featured as, or maybe, I know you're so
I
busy, maybe you don't keep
didn't
on
know
top of
about
things,
that.
but I saw that as well.
About
Yeah,
that.
so you just know, so there's another article. My wife actually told me about that. That's how I knew. But you are, Marsha, I'm very proud of the work that you're doing, and may Allah continue to give you barakah both in this life and hereafter. So yeah, just wanted to let people know in terms of the work that you're doing, cross cultural, cross generational, and multi faith as well. So you've got a course on the 31st of
Mhm.
August, I believe. Cultivating Allure, or how do you pronounce it? Because
It's
sometimes
a
is it Allure or
lure.
Allure?
You have your
So I'm thinking
English
of
is better than
I'm
mine,
thinking of the
Habib. Your English.
no, no. When I saw the word, I was
Oh,
thinking of the R&B group
why is
back
his
in the
name Allure? Yeah.
Allure, yeah. Because some people say
Yeah.
Allure, Allure. That's why I was just thinking of that. That's right. So, do you mind just for the benefit of those who are listening to give a insight in terms of what the course entails and how people
Sure.
can sign up,
So,
please?
Cultivating Allure is actually an updated and revised version of a class that I started giving in 2021 called Art of Seduction. And I gave it that title because, in this line of work, you have to get people's attention. But what I found is that the name didn't really fit the subject matter. And the reason why I wanted to teach that class is because I was getting a lot of women who were coming to me saying, Auntie, I'm not married. I've never been married. I'm too young. I'm too old. I'm too fat. I'm too this. I'm too whatever to feel desirable, to feel sensual. And I wanted to really separate the idea of sensuality from sexuality because we all have senses, right? And sex in and of itself is a sensory experience, but so is living. And as a woman, we get to have so many bodies over the span of our lifetime. And if we are Muslims or people of faith, our body is an amana given to us by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So how we care for our body, but also how we love and experience our body is important. So I wanted to be able to give women insight into a level of self-love that involves engaging with the senses and engaging with the body in a different way. I wanted to be able to talk about pushing against Western notions of desirability, pushing against a homogenized version of femininity, and really looking at what is the core of what makes you you. I based the whole class on the Senegalese concept of Djongue. So a woman who is considered Jongama, right? She is a woman who has comportment. She has elegance. She's subtle, um, but very captivating. She has a level of presence. It really has nothing to do with physical beauty. It's something that radiates from within. And I believe that everyone has that. We just have not been taught how to cultivate it. We haven't been taught how to engage with it, either because of our misunderstanding of religion, our misunderstanding of culture, or the lack of women who are guides in our life. So I wanted to be able to have this safe space for women to have this class. And I taught the class 3 times. Taught it twice online and once in person. I have not taught it since 2022. just because, the last year I really cut back on teaching a lot, and now I'm ready to like ramp things up again. But I wanted to teach it because I was having a conversation with one of my village nieces, and she's in her mid 20s. And she said, Auntie, the girls are not dressing up at home. I said, what do you mean? She was like, she's like, a lot of my friends just don't feel like they're not really pouring into themselves. I said, okay, it's time to teach the class again. And so that's how we arrived at Cultivating Allure. I've really, I'm teaching it now, inshallah. I'll probably teach it again in December, sort of over that holiday break. Um, but me and Habib, I can't do the same thing. I always have to level it up. Like I always have to make it grow. And one of the things that I think I do really well is develop theories and concepts, and I'm able to translate them into visuals. So just this morning, I've been working on, before it was the funnel of seductive confidence. Now I have refined it and updated, and it's called the spectrum of allure. And so it talks about what are those core internal values that a woman has that are expressed through her presence, through her trust in her body, through the concept of wonder. So I'm going to take women through the process of this concept. And I'm really excited. I'm really excited for the sisters to take this class, inshallah.
And where can people purchase the course or access?
So I have it in my link tree. So my bio, if they click on my bio, go to the link tree, it should be the very top link. Also, the last reel that I posted, not the last static post that I have, if you comment Allure, it'll send you the link. Right after this live, I will also repost it again with the link. It's $79, which, I know everybody is suffering economically, but to be honest, I over deliver. So you get 2.5 hours. You get a workbook that I'm currently working on expanding. The workbook that I gave previously was 15 pages. This workbook is going to be at least 25, 30 pages. It's going to be a journal, it's a companion journal. It's completely free. It comes with the program. You get to experience a Village Auntie workshop, which I think are very immersive and expansive. And the takeaways are something that will I think last for quite a while. I've had a lot of women who've taken the class over the years, and they've said that it's one of their favorite classes and it really helped them a lot. So I'm really excited. You can join from anywhere because the class is virtual. We always have sisters join from the UK. I have a huge contingent of UK students, and I got to make it to the UK at some point, inshallah. But yes, you can join from the UK.
And what
The
time
class
is it?
is from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So I'm not sure what time that
Okay.
is in the UK.
I'll
Yeah,
just,
it's in the morning. Oh, there's my bestie.
yeah.
Girls Got Hudge.
11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So that's 4 p.m. UK time. So 4 p.m.
Mhm.
GMT. So from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Saturday, the
Yes,
31st of
next
August.
Saturday.
So again,
Inshallah.
and again, yeah, the next Saturday. And again, as the Village Auntie said, after this live, if you type in Allure under a latest
Post.
reel, is
My
it?
latest post. Yeah,
Post
and
or
it says
post?
Cultivating Allure, so they'll know which one it is. Mm-hmm.
Okay, great. Yeah. As much as I don't mind being the village auntie's message carrier and postman, please don't message me after. I'll just forward it on to you, but just so you know,
Please don't.
type in Allure, Allure, because there's a number of people that we need to speak after that's been chasing you, but I know that you're very busy. That's trying to get you on for podcasts and interviews and this, that, and the other. So, but that's another separate conversation. But anyway, just for the purpose of this live or this workshop, type in Allure under Village Auntie's latest reel. And then you get a link and then you can purchase for only $79, which is really cheap for 2.5 hours. And this is something like you said, you've only the last
Mm-hmm.
time you did it was 2 years
That
ago.
was 2 years ago.
So again, I think something that's going to be so definitely highly recommended. And is it only for
No,
Muslim women?
there's no class that I do is ever only for Muslim women. I'm the only Muslim in my family. My mother's not Muslim. My sisters are not Muslim. And if my mother cannot come, nobody can come. I truly believe that this is information that is for every woman. And even when I teach Ramadan intensive. I have non-Muslims who take Ramadan intensive every year, literally. And I believe that it's good because it also helps to dispel a lot of the myths and notions that people have about Muslim women. And you'd be surprised at how many non-Muslim women grew up with the same kind of constraints around their bodies and lack of knowledge. So it's open. It's open. You just have to be a woman. You don't have to be black. You don't have to be Muslim. You don't have to be married. You just have to be open and come. And we have a lot of fun. We get deep. We have a lot of deep conversation, but we also have a lot of fun. So it's worth it to come to the class to experience that community, inshallah.
And just for clarification, just in case some people's wondering, um, are the classes recorded? And second, is there going to be any men that's going to be
No
attending?
men, no men at all. Even my son, who is 9 years old, I'm probably not even going to teach the class at home. I'm probably going to go into my office and teach it. There are no men. And unfortunately for this particular class, because of the level of sharing that may happen, we're not going to record it for distribution. So this is a class you have to be present for, which is why I'll teach it again, inshallah, in December. But I'm not going to send out a recording because I want women to feel comfortable sharing, especially when they start talking about their bodies or just different things when it comes to desirability. Sisters tend to feel very safe in this space, so they can sometimes become emotional, and I don't want to disturb the sanctity of the space by having the recording go out. So this will not have a recording, but I do have a playlist. There will be a list of like recorded, like recommended reading. There's all of the things. I always put a lot of things there so that you don't just experience the 2 hours and then you're just gone off by yourself. There will be opportunities to come together and engage and continue after the class, inshallah.
Inshallah. And again, just for clarification purposes, I know you mentioned that the course was previously known as the Art of Seduction. Are you going to be teaching the same content what you taught in Art of Seduction, or will it be expanded, and is it going to be exactly the same as what you taught
I never, I
in previous
never teach
years?
the same class twice. Even if it has the same name, I always, because as I grow and evolve as a teacher, I have to grow and share that growth with my students. So it's going to have the same concept where we're going to go deeper into what it means, right? I think adolescents would definitely benefit. Yes. I'm answering a question from my sis, Girls Gone Hodge. I'm actually going to suggest that my daughter, who's 16, and her friend group, that they take the class, inshallah. So
Mhm.
yeah, it'll be the same but different. The material is 90% of the slides are going to be different. We talk about those core concepts. So we do like the conceptual analysis, and we have like a really deep conversation. But then we talk about one of the things that I really want to hone in on, and you're gonna laugh, Habib, because as a Nigerian, you're gonna understand why I have to be careful when I introduce this word. I'm gonna talk about the power of ritual. Hey, but I am not a ritualist. I am not. I am not. Just the ritualized practice, burning bahur, how we, the things we do when we bathe, how we care for our hair, just cultivating that interior, seeking the interior. I really want to talk about the power of ritual because I believe that is the sensory experience that a lot of us are missing, and our foremothers and our mother cultures had that, right? They had that, the lele that a bride does before her wedding. You have the dukan with Sudanese women, who do it. So I really want to talk about cultivating the power of ritual. So we're going to talk about that. And then I always, for this particular class, there's a bit of a overlap with another very popular class that I never teach by itself. It's only a part of foundational womanhood, but there's an overlap with sacred body care because then I give you recipes. But I don't just give you recipes from a Western lens. I also give you recipes from a traditional lens. So I teach in this class, I teach women how to make their own bahur. I teach them about tiger nut. I right,
Okay.
okay. I
Yeah.
teach them about kayanmata, right? I teach them about how to create some of these things themselves because I believe that if we allow the forces that be to teach us our culture, they will package it, dilute it, package it and then sell it back to us. So we have to take over that as well. And a lot of these things, women are so surprised. Oh, I only need this, this, and this to make bahur. Oh, tiger nut can do this, this, and this. So I give recipes, and that's really where the fun part comes in, because it all gets included in the workbook. But some of those things I will show them and demonstrate to them how to make in class. So it's really fun.
MashaAllah. MashaAllah. So again, just for the benefit of those who have, and also I will save this, but on the 31st of August, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is 4 p.m. UK GMT time, the Cultivating Allure workshop, 2.5 hour workshop, only for $79. And you also have a journal. You get to have an immersive, interactive, safe space. So men are not going to be able to join, and it's not going to be recorded, where you can learn from an expert, a pioneer in the field from the Village Auntie. So that's the Cultivating Allure on the 31st of August at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. A couple of quick questions before we wrap up, because obviously the main purpose of this is also I want people to know about this upcoming workshop. So we're both going to be inshallah in Nigeria on the 12th, I believe, yeah, 12th and
Yes.
13th of
So
October.
excited.
So Sister Madam has organised the Muslim family summit. So I'm really looking forward to that. Are you going to be doing any sisters only, or like women only, like courses or classes, just in case women want to like see you in person? I'm just wondering, is that something that you might be
Um,
offering or doing
I mean,
something?
it's definitely something we can talk about logistics and the feasibility of that. I do know, as a part of the Muslim Family Summit, there's going to be a women's only session with me for the conference attendees, and I'll be there. So I would love to have like a meet and greet or something, but I will be present. And really, I have you to thank, Habib, for even pushing me, like, hey, you haven't been to Nigeria yet, so it's a go. But I want this to be the first. I really want to at least go to Nigeria, to Senegal, to Ghana at least once a year, because I think it is really important to go to those places. But we can definitely talk about that offline, inshallah. Because I'm so excited. I've never been to Nigeria before, and I'm really really excited. I saw the lineup today, so I cannot wait, inshallah.
And please, you have to put Kenya on your bucket list as well, because I was I visited Kenya a few months ago, and I spoke a little bit about your work that you're doing, and a number of people actually were familiar with
Oh,
your work.
nice.
So Kenya's also,
Inshallah.
yeah. Yeah, we probably speak more offline or when I see you in
Okay.
Nigeria, but Kenya is definitely a place
Inshallah.
that you'd be more than welcome. Yeah, so definitely Kenya and Rwanda as well, but definitely Kenya's more
Mm,
vibrant. But definitely, I think Kenya, Nairobi is definitely something that you need to visit,
inshallah.
inshallah. So again, I want to kind of keep this short and sweet, because obviously I want to save this and I want to put this on YouTube. Is there anything else that you've got upcoming that you need to, or do you want to promote? Please promote
Um,
away. Anything you've got upcoming, or with like the Village Auntie Institute? Do you have any upcoming courses
so
or things
one of the
that
big
you're
things,
sending?
every September I try to do something big. So this year, inshallah, bismillah, I'm launching the Village Auntie Marriage Counseling Academy. And so that will be a space where I will not only be teaching marriage classes, but also training marriage counselors. So I have a platform, a program that I use that is research based, it's data driven. So people will actually receive two certifications when they go through the process. They'll receive one certification that allows them access to this platform, and then they will also be trained in the Village Auntie method. And the goal is to be able to train lay people. It's not therapy, but to train lay people in masajid, in churches, in communities, in families who can provide premarital and marital counseling support, because we have a marriage crisis and an epidemic in our communities, our collective communities. And I want to be able to empower people. It's also serving the goal of, I can't clone myself, and I get a lot of people who ask me about marriage counseling. So I want to be able to train a cadre of marriage counselors so that I can tell people, I'm not available, but this person is in your city and this is their contact information. So I want to create a network. So I'm working right now on building that. You can, it's open. You don't have to be married. You don't have to, there all sorts of these big requirements, but it will be a strenuous program, and it's going to be open to women and to men. So this will be the first time that I offer a program like this that is open to both men and women. So I'm excited about it. I have a lot of imams who have, encouraged me to do this. So I'm really looking forward to that. And we're looking to launch that late September, early October, inshallah.
Sure. That was actually going to be my next question. I'm glad you mentioned that. So I wanted to ask whether you are working with like imams and religious leaders in terms of like with the marriage counselling or intimacy issues. So you kind of answered that. So that's great to hear. Um, Coming back to the course. So you mentioned about like it's also obviously available for women who are not married or like no relationships or what have you. What would a woman who is not in a relationship, like not married, what would she
From
gain from
Cultivating
this course?
Allure,
Yeah.
it is, I think it's one of the perfect ways to prepare a woman if she wants to be married. A lot of times when you get married, you wind up playing catch up, right? You wind up trying to fit yourself into what you think your husband will want, what you think your husband will desire, which that can be good, but it can also be self-defeating, because if you have not yet discovered your own internal allure, if you have not built your confidence, if you have not built a level of body awareness and trust, that lack of confidence is going to come through in your marriage. And so if your husband, Allah forbid, is someone who wanted to tear you down, he's tearing down a structure that he built, not a structure that you built, right? And I think a lot of women do not understand that within marriage, sometimes it is not about what your husband likes, it's about what you bring. Everything is not based on what your husband wants, right? It's he wants you, but who are you? And have you gotten in touch with you? And also the understanding that not every woman wants to be in a marriage. Some women are widowed. Some women are divorced. Some women are just, they're in that liminal space. I have another course called Liminal that is for women who are not in a relationship. I think that a connection to our body and engaging with our body is something that we should do regardless of relationship status, because we are born alone, we die alone. Why not engage with this vessel that we have and maximizing it? So when sisters say, well, I'm not married, so this class is not for me, I say, yes, but if you want to be married, this can help you when you get into your marriage. And if you never want to be married, this is going to help you just in it's about cultivating and seeking that interior so that you can live a more robust life and be more engaged with who you are as a woman. So there's a lot. I've had women who are not married. I have one of my students who took the class the last time I taught it. She's about to get married. And she said that was the best thing
Mhm.
that I could have done, is taking it way back then. Because now I know, going into my marriage, not just what to expect from my husband, but what I've already cultivated within myself. So I think that's the best testimonial.
Inshallah. So no, that's good. I'm glad you said that. So it's not just for married women, and it's not just for women who are about to get married, irrespective of your marital status,
And
like
and
you said,
I
women can
and I want to
benefit
say this too. We're
from
not
this.
going to be talking about, this is not a class about sex. This is not a sex class.
Okay,
It's
yeah,
not a sex
yeah.
class.
Okay,
And I
yeah,
think that's
yeah.
important.
Okay, yeah. I'm glad you said it, yeah, yeah. So do you mind? Can you talk a little bit about that?
Mhm.
Because I think that's also
Mhm.
what people may
Mhm.
think or may assume.
This is
So
not a class about like how to wow your man. I'm not. I'm not interested in a class like that. There's lots of books. There's lots of people who teach classes like that, and they do a great job of it. This is not about. This is not a class about sex, and I think that's why this class is so important, because sensuality is not the same as sexuality, right? They're different. One supports the other. One is a part of the other, but they can also occupy separate spaces. So this is not a class about orgasms and positions. It's not, this is not about that. This is about cultivating the inner radiance that is within you through the power of ritualized practice and self-care, through the power of cultivation of inner confidence, through the power of establishing comportment, through the power of understanding your positionality within your culture and how your femininity has already been verified, because there's no one way to be feminine. That's what the class is about. And I hope that sisters who take that class understand it, because I have some sisters say, "Oh, I didn't want to take that class because I've never had sex, so I don't want to talk about sex." It's just, we don't. That's not what the class is about. And I think that's another reason why this class is important, because when people see the work that you and I do, they have a misconception about what we talk about and what we teach. But until you take the class, you won't know. So no, this is not, and there's nothing wrong with those kinds of classes, especially within a private, women only space. That's just not what this class is for.
No, but that's well understood, and I'm glad. Even the name change actually makes more sense in terms of what you're trying to achieve. Because I think with seduction, although I like the name, I think people would assume that it's for the purpose of a man or to seduce like a man, and then obviously if a woman is not married, you'd be like, okay, am I going to benefit from this? Whereas this is more about the woman for herself, not because she has married or she's going to get married. So I'm glad you clarified that. A couple other things I wanted to touch on. Your the Village Auntie Institute, how is that going? Because I know that you did mention obviously you're launching the academy. Are you still going to be providing courses, like online courses on the institute, or is that, can you talk a little bit about the institute and how that's going? I know you said you got, was it 5,000
We have,
students?
and that's across. I mean, this year is much less because I haven't really been teaching much, but all of the courses that I teach are under the banner of Village Auntie Institute. So you have Ramadan Intensive, Pilgrimage of the Soul, Cultivating Allure. You also have my big class of the year, which we're going into right now. Application is already closed for that. The class is called Foundational Womanhood, which is a 12-week rites of passage class. It starts mid-September. We graduate our students in mid-January, and it is it's a very in-depth rites of passage course where we cover everything from decolonial praxis to ancestral trauma to cultivating womanhood to building strong sisterly relationships. And over the last 4 years we've graduated over 400 women from the program, and so we are looking to invite about 100 or so more into this program. So Village Auntie Institute is still very robust. I'm looking to, for the first time, offer some pre-recorded classes. All the classes that I've taught thus far have been live, but in order to again, expand the effort, having classes where people can just, watch 4 30-minute snippets, and that's one class, might be more beneficial. So we're looking into doing that as well, inshallah.
I'm glad you said, because you, again, you answered my next question. 'Cause I was going to ask that, okay, whilst it's great you have these live only workshops, for people who may not be able to attend, or people who may want to kind of benefit from this 5 10 years down the line, are you like building up like a database, not necessarily of those workshops because they're private, but some maybe other sessions or things that you're doing that people can benefit from, the same way people benefit from books long years after they're written? Are you thinking about, or you have you done that already, think about maybe doing like a catalog of different, it might be like an introduction to some of the different courses so people can kind of be benefit from. I'm more thinking about that because, like, again, not everyone may be again familiar with this course on the 31st, but there'll be many people, hundreds if not thousands of people that would want to benefit from it way past the date, but obviously they've missed it. So I'm just wondering how we can benefit those people. So that's something that maybe you might think about later. I'm saying it, hoping you will do it like later on, to kind of do some pre-recorded courses or something, just like a introduction, just a snippet. Because again, honestly, like there are things that I watch or like lectures that were recorded literally 10, 15 years ago that I benefit now. Or like books that I read that were literally written hundreds of years ago. So I just don't want us to be, or you to be, of course, people in the time will benefit from you, but also for many people long after you leave this world, inshallah, to benefit from your work. So just hoping you will do some more maybe pre-recorded courses and you can put them on your institute if that's something that you haven't been thinking of, if maybe you might
I
think about it in the future, inshallah.
have my best friend is also my business manager, and she's probably going to send you a thank you note and a bouquet of flowers, because she has been beating that into my head for like the last 2 years. I have a perfectionist problem, and if it's not perfect and if it doesn't have this and have that, I don't want to do it. So I'm like, I don't have a studio, I don't have a camera, I don't have this, I don't have that, but Alhamdulillah, there's a brother who I do photographs with, photography from time to time, and he just opened a studio, and he's like, Angelica, I would love to do that. So that is the goal, inshallah, to record these classes. I actually am doing some work with the maternal health innovation program. I actually have the second part of the webinar tomorrow, and I developed a module called Empowered Bodies, Empowered Minds, and it's an introduction to holistic anatomy and bodily agency. That is something that's perfect for an introductory pre-recorded class. I also have another class that's coming up for that same program, and it's called Reclamation, Transmuting Ancestral Trauma Through Storytelling. That's another class I could very easily put. But yes, that is the goal, to have a catalog of pre-recorded classes that people can access at their leisure. And also I am very, very slowly working on my book, which again is not about sex. It's about so much more, about what I talk
Yeah.
about. But yeah, the goal is to be able to have those things that will live on in perpetuity long after Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala takes me from this place.
Yeah, please do, and because even you said how you like your thoughts and your classes have evolved. But the thing is, like, if for example, what you're going to be teaching or where you are now, where you're going to be in 5 years, inshallah, is different from where you was
Mhm.
10 or 15 years ago, and you might even you yourself might not be able to teach the same way you taught 10 or 15 years ago. That's why sometimes you need to record or whatever what you've done then, as long as whatever you're putting is not factually. This my the answer is as long as whatever I put out is not factually incorrect intentionally. If it's I made a mistake, then obviously it happens. The perfectionists like to try and not worry about that because we leave perfection to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Other than that, if you're trying your best and again your thoughts or whatever you put it out, then whoever will benefit from it will benefit from it. And those who are not going to be benefit from it, or those who are uncomfortable with the content, then don't have to worry about them. But I think the perfectionist side, I know that a number of people struggle with it, but please, I think what you've got now, because as much as you're when you do really are really comfortable in terms of where you are, studio, all the rest of it, you will not have the same motivation as you've got like now or even 5 years ago. So you won't be able to deliver the same workshops. That's the only reason why I would like to, because I'm even remembering some of your um, tweets 3 or 4 years ago when you had a certain handle, you don't deliver that same content. But that reach and that need and that was needed for some people. Whereas now, not to say that that was wrong, it was just it reached a certain audience. Now you're more of a very zen, holistic, not just the intimacy woman anymore, not just the woman that's speaking about sex. But that was needed, and that is still needed for some people. So that's why, as much as even as human beings, we do evolve and we do grow. I think we shouldn't lose sight of where we was 10 or 15 years ago, and not to feel that we might have ourselves outgrown that person, but that person, whoever, however he was 10 or 15 years ago, there's still people that need that Angelica, that village auntie. So that's why, yeah, please do, if you can, like every other year, record at least like 5 or 6. And even if it's in a vault and you want to release it when you want, or you want it, that's fine, but at least it's there because I think you would even surprise yourself in terms of how you deliver certain things, whereas now you might not. Not to say that it was wrong, but you won't deliver in the same custom. So yeah, just wanted
Inshallah.
to say, please, yeah, put more content out, inshallah. That being said, is there anything else that you want to be spoke about the course
Mhm.
on the 31st of August? Again, just for the benefit of those of you who have joined. So the Village Auntie has a course, Cultivating Allure, which is I didn't actually read what I copied it from your. How did you describe it? Feminine confidence and cultivating. I'm not going to do justice to it. How do you pronounce? A women only course to explore the cultivation of feminine confidence and the importance of seeking and nurturing a woman's interior life. And that's going to be for women only on the 31st of August from 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is 4 p.m. UK GMT time. It's not going to be recorded. Again, women only, irrespective of your marital status, whether you are married, single, engaged, what have you, you can benefit from it. And it's not going to be about how to please a man or satisfy a man. It's not going to be about sex. And it's open for Muslims, non-Muslims. So yeah, so that's on the 31st of August. Please type in Allure, Allure, on your reel,
Yes.
on your the Village Auntie page, and you can get a link. And for those who are not watching, because I'm going to save this and upload this on YouTube, So they should
They can
just
go to
go
my
to your
bio, my Instagram
Instagram.
bio, and just click the link tree, and it should be the first link. Yep.
Okay. Right. Yeah. So, and that's on
Yes.
the 31st of August. So, is there anything else before we wrap up? Because again, this is really
Thank
unashamedly, I wanted to promote
you.
your course. So, we'll be in a couple of months, inshallah, in October. But again, yeah, please, everyone, sign up for the women, obviously, and for the brothers. You can sign up your sister, wife, or woman you want to get married to attend this course. Is beneficial, irrespective, like the village auntie said, irrespective of their marital status. And it's important that women know that it's not just about pleasing a man; it's about for themselves. So I'm glad you're doing this, and may Allah put
Um,
much barakah in
I
this
mean,
course.
I
So,
mean,
yeah,
I mean, only thing I can,
thank,
only
thank,
thing I
thank.
can say is for all of the people who are watching us who are in Nigeria. I hope they make it to
Oh,
Abuja
yeah,
to come to the summit.
oh,
Inshallah,
yeah.
I'm so excited, and I pray that Allah Subhanahu wa Taala makes it very successful and makes it the start of Village Auntie International. I hope that we can do a lot more things.
Inshallah. No, you're already international. You're already global. So it's just really a case of people to see you on the ground. Like I said, in Kenya, as I know, she was speaking about Nigeria. Nigeria, yes, definitely,
I would
and
love that.
Kenya because yeah. But again, we'll speak more offline on that. But yeah, Jazakallah khairan, the village auntie. Thank you everyone for joining. I'm going to save this again. Obviously, I'll put this on my page, and everyone who's on watching YouTube, go to the village auntie's Instagram page on her bio, where you can have access to the link to the course, and then you can sign up, which is going to be on Saturday, the 31st of August at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is 4 p.m. GMT UK
Thank you so
time.
much. I
Assalamu
really
alaikum wa
thank
rahmatullah.
you, thank you, thank you,
No, it's my pleasure.
thank you,
My
thank you,
pleasure.
thank you.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Walaikum
Assalamu alaikum.
salam.